Today we're going to talk about painting paper mache. When you paint paper mache, it is very much like painting regular paper. The only difference is that it's three-dimensional. So you're going to have to make sure that you get paint on the bottom, on the top, on the sides, and down in any cracks that you might have so that there's no white space left over when you're finished. Today, we're not going to start with any super tricky designs for our Oaxacan animal. What we're going to do is paint the base color first. Then you'll be able to paint the designs on top after the base color dries. So you're going to choose two colors for your base of your animal. I've chose purple and yellow. So before I start painting, I need to decide where the purple is going to go and where the yellow is going to go. So my plan that I've been thinking about for a while is that I'm going to make the beak yellow. So what I'm doing is I'm just drawing an outline with my pencil where that yellow paint is going to go. And it's a little awkward since it's 3D, but just draw carefully. And then I have a lot of other choices. I could paint on wings, or I could do the tail a different color, but I thought that I'm going to do kind of like a circle on the tummy of yellow. So I'm just sketching that on. While you're sketching out your shapes, you also need to make sure that your name is on your project somewhere for the final time. If you have a wooden base, a great idea is to just use your pencil to write your name on the bottom here. I might use a Sharpie to make that show up a little bit more. If you do not have a wooden base, then you're going to want to pick a really sneaky spot on the underside of your animal that won't be painted, because we have to have our name and art code on there. Now, after you have your shape sketched out, you are going to be able to start painting. So I've selected a couple different brushes. I got a big one for doing large areas, but I also got a nice small pointy one for where I'm doing details close to my shapes that I drew. So I'm just going to go ahead and start painting. I'm going to do purple first. And I'm just going to paint right over the paper mache, trying really hard to stay inside the lines, just like we would with any type of painting. And you can see that if you just brush it over quickly, the cracks won't get filled in. So you really do have to take the time to kind of gently wiggle your brush down in those areas a little bit, because the goal today is to not have any white space left on your animal, except for maybe the part where you wrote your name. So I'm just going to fill all this in. If I want to take a break from purple, I can clean my brush, dry it off on my towel, and go on to my next color. Now it's going to be tricky when your colors are right next to each other because I don't want my two colors to mix. So when I do this part, I'm going to be really careful when I'm next to the edge that it doesn't actually mix in with the purple. If it does, I need to clean my brush out and try again, because yellow and purple don't look pretty when they mix together. They're going to make like a brown color. When you're done, there shouldn't be any white spots left on your animal. Be really careful as you're painting that you don't touch the wet paint. I just got done painting my bird, and I don't really have that much paint on my hands at all because I was really careful not to touch it as I was painting. When you're done, you can just leave it on your messy mat to dry.